Alpus Group, wealth creation through property, ethical and sustainable property investment and development. Who is this workshop for? Property owners who may have a problem property, for example, distressed, fire damaged, land for development, etc. You don't know what to do with it. Property investors who are looking for a great guaranteed return on investment. Anyone interested in learning about how to create wealth from property. Anyone willing to learn from other people's mistakes rather than making them yourself. And people who like free stuff. So why invest in UK property? It's a stable and transparent property market. There's strong demand versus a limited housing supply. The UK hasn't built that many houses, certainly not enough to keep up with the growth in population for many years. There's a consistent rental income and high occupancy. There's proven long-term capital growth with property. Roughly properties double in value every 8 to 10 years. There are diverse strategies you can adopt, either buy-to-let or houses of multiple occupation, commercial property, commercial to residential conversions, commercial development, industrial development, a whole host of strategies. There's a global appeal, it's a safe haven for investors, and there's also infrastructure and regeneration projects which drive growth. So property is a hedge against inflation with tangible assets. What sort of returns are there for investors? You've got buy-to-lets, which would typically return 6 to 10% with a rental yield of 4 to 6%. Houses of multiple occupation return is 10 to 15% per annum. Rental yield is 8 to 12% per annum. Commercial property returning 8 to 12% per annum with a net yield of 5 to 8% per annum. Property development return on cost is likely 15 to 30% plus, and regeneration hotspots can increase the potential growth and the returns by sort of 20 to 40%, and they're long-term prospects, so you get consistent growth over a number of years as the regeneration projects are carried out. You also get infrastructure projects that help with returns, and that because they enhance the value of property, and property is a hedge against inflation with tangible assets. So this is our management team. We've got Louise Suter as our group architect, Anna Lipcheva as our rentals director, and myself. The property wealth formula. It's the achievement of 4 pillars: education, leverage, power team, and systems. And within education we include mindset, because if you think you can or you think you can't, both times you're right, and that's Henry Ford's saying. So mindset is so important with property. This is some free stuff. If you want to take a screen grab of this QR code, you can get 28 days free YPN magazine. After that it's $23.95 a month. There's no contract, so you can cancel any time if you want to, but why would you want to? Because there are lots of interesting articles in here from such expert investors as John Howard. You'll see him on the screen there, the chairperson of Property Elevator, and Michelle Cairns is another one, and Lyons is another one. Lots of developers and investors who write for your property network. So it's a great free source initially, 28-day free, and then after that £23.95 a month. We are also part of Property Investors Network. I host the Portsmouth PIN meeting, and you can register for the Portsmouth PIN meeting using my free personal code for the first time, Alan06, and come along and try the meeting out. And then if you like it, there are different schemes to actually return. You can get a membership scheme, which is only £15 a month, But Property Investors Network is the UK's leading property education and networking organisation. It offers comprehensive membership for investors and owners. It provides in-person meetings across the UK, structured training programs for all levels, extensive online resources and a strong community platform. PIN's benefits include up-to-date market knowledge, access to expert speakers and a power team of professionals, networking for joint ventures and off-market deals, and a supportive environment for learning and problem solving, all designed to help members achieve property investment success and financial freedom. So my personal story, I had a career in construction and project management, including infrastructure projects, and I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Building and a fellow of the Association for Project Management. So who am I and what qualifies me to talk to you about property development? Well, I've been involved in project management and major projects for several decades. I've worked for contractors, consultants and client bodies, and I've seen projects from all sides, the good, the bad and the ugly. I've worked with many different types of contracts such as JCT, traditional, JCT design and build, NEC, new engineering contract, FIDIC, suites of contract, IChemE, forms, AIA, that's American Institute of Architects, forms, management fee and construction management. And I've worked in different countries around the world apart from the UK. I wrote a book about my experience called Project Deliverance, the 20 Key Factors for Project Success or Failure, which is available on Amazon. So my first project management experience, as opposed to construction experience, was as a project management consultant to the Hotel Corporation of the Bahamas, where I was involved with the procurement of the Cable Beach development and site management of the Emerald Beach Hotel project, and subsequently as project director on the Locayan Beach Hotel project, which is on Grand Bahama. I spent about 5 years of my life on Chelsea Harbour development, where P&O Developments built on a former industrial site, one of the biggest residential developments to be carried out in London ever, I would say. It transformed the relatively low-value commercial site into very high-value residential and mixed use. There's a hotel there, there's offices, workshops, restaurants, all aspects of what you would need to live in a community. It was a very satisfying project to be involved in. Here are some of the pictures from there. You'll see there's a marina, yacht marina, which was actually excavated out from a canal basin for barges that existed before. So this was all dug out and created a new marina for wealthy owners who want to keep their small boats there. And then you'll see lots of different types of blocks there. It was what was called an inclusivist style of architecture, meaning that there were lots of different styles on the one side. This is another of my past projects, 1-4 Hyde Park Gate, where there was a grade 2 listed building, and we erected 17 1- and 2-bedroom flats at the back of the building, thus making it into a serviced accommodation project, like a competitor to the 5-star hotels in the centre of London, where people from overseas would come with their families, book a flat for 1-2 months, however long they were staying, have maid service, and then bring in a visiting chef or bring their own chef to look after them. Essentially a home from home, and pay a small fortune for it, but a smaller fortune than if they'd stayed at the 5-star hotels in the centre of London. So these are some of the pictures from the development. It's a very satisfying development to be part of. And subsequently I was involved on the Docklands Light Railway extension to Stratford International Station. So why was this important? It was important for people coming into the UK from France or from Belgium, any European destination on the international railway into St Pancras, and they could actually get off the train at Stratford International Station. So they could get into the Olympic side and also onto the TfL network, so that's Docklands Light Railway, and then onto the London Underground. So it's quite an important station. You probably never heard anything about it. It's because the project was completed on time and to budget, and therefore the Olympics weren't delayed by delays to the project. It was a very satisfying job to be involved in. I spent about 5 years of my life on Crescent Development Project. 3 years were on site in Baku in Azerbaijan on this challenging project where we reclaimed land from the sea in order to create a site for the Crescent Hotel, the building in the foreground, and there was also a city development block and a residential and retail block as well. So it's had a 1.5 million plus budget, and it was very challenging to manage as project director. This is some of my feedback from clients, from Rory O'Neill, who's the director at DLR, and at that time I was leading the Arab project management team, from Peter Beckenham, who's an investor I deal with in Asia, and from Gilan Holdings, who were the client for the property in Azerbaijan, the Crescent Development Project. Alan carried out the work conscientiously, responsibly, highly professionally. He intelligently led the construction project to identify potential problems and resolved complex situations in a timely way. And then here's my book, Project Deliverance, where you can read about some of the projects that I've got experience of, and how it's possible to manage projects, and if you get most of the factors right, the 20 key factors for project success, then things should be fine. If you start to get some of the critical ones wrong, then it can lead to project failure. This is my business partner Anna Lipcheva, who's a seasoned international entrepreneur with a forward-looking perspective on property development and investment. She holds a bachelor's degree in economics and finance with specialisation in marine transportation and logistics. So over the years she's built a diverse career spanning sales, finance, account and project management, property development and asset management. She's fluent in 4 languages, wow, and currently learning 2 more. She's also passionate about fish keeping, fitness, live music and motorbikes. This is one of Anna's case studies, 20 units as company assets, which totaled 120 units under management, serviced accommodation, with an average rating on booking.com of 9.8, which is brilliant. Airbnb was a guest favourite, and over 80% occupancy consistently, guaranteed income of over 20% ROI. So do you have a property problem? How to solve it? There's a new way. There's a particular way to solve problems. If you talk to us and we will look at your particular problem, we'll see what we can do to solve it. And we love to do win-win solutions for owners of commercial property that may be unused or underused, blocks of flats that may be run down and need refurbishment, land development sites for planning gain, and hotels as well. This is our unique branded system, and I'll talk you through the Alpus unique branded system. A is for Alpus acquisition, so we can acquire properties in a number of ways, either buying them outright or agreeing a joint venture to acquire the property. Sometimes we can do what's called an assisted sale, which enables us to upgrade a property for you, and we share the profits from that. You can leverage our expert team, so we've got our architectural team we've got our rentals team, and we can essentially evaluate properties and advise you about what's required and how to go about the next phase, which is project design, planning and design, so that we plan out what the upgrade will be before we implement the upgrade. The upgrade is basically the implementation of the design, which could be construction, it could be a relatively minor refurbishment, but the outcome is that you get safe, secure property investments from Alpus. So this is the acquisition stage, joint ventures, short-term. We can do a lease of a property, and with an option to buy. We can invest in your property, and we can develop your property. So we specialize in finding creative solutions and win-win ethical solutions. We manage rented property as well as develop for investment. We can build you a portfolio using our UK and European network. And then the leverage, we've got the expertise and many years experience in design and construction methodology. We specialise in finding ways to increase the value of properties, such as commercial to residential conversions. We specialise in planning applications and achieving value through planning gain. We're specialists in rental properties to achieve the optimum value for investors. Project design, this is where we take a look at the feasibility first of all, and then we look at the appointment of the principal designer. We evaluate a number of options which there may be on the site, whether to develop in a particular way, residential or commercial or mixed use. We evaluate all the options, carry out preliminary risk assessments, budget assessments, schedule assessments, and then decide on what is the most appropriate development of the site, and agree that with the team or with the client if it's a client-led strategy. And we formulate a procurement strategy to fulfill the project, i.e. the next stage, which is the upgrade, which could be the conversion, or it could be a development of a site. It could be the start of advanced works such as diversions of services, demolition, site clearance. We appoint a principal contractor if that's what's decided that is needed for procurement, and we ensure that all the safety reporting regulations are complied to, and that the principal contractor serves the F10 form to the health and safety executive to notify them about the start of the works at the appropriate time. Safe, secure investment returns will flow from the development of the site, and we specialise in optimising these because we've got great knowledge of the most high value strategies, specifically hotels and serviced accommodation, but it may not be that. It could be commercial lets. Whatever the outcome is, we will appraise it and ensure that everyone is aware of the planned outcome and that the planned outcome is achieved, thus giving returns to investors and profits as well through wealth creation. We can carry out property financing. We can arrange mortgages, bridging and development finance through networks that we belong to, and we can arrange mortgages on properties as well. This is a case study of a project that we're in the midst of carrying out, 246 High Street, Alton. There are 3 adjacent buildings in Alton in Hampshire, 2, 4 and 6. They're all Grade 2 listed buildings. They're all separate owners. Number 4 has been acquired on the 6th of December 24. Number 6 has now been acquired following the planning application being approved in July 25. Number 2, the negotiations are on hold. The business is failing. It's a pub stroke hotel, and the owner wanted too much money for it last year, although we did agree a price, but it was difficult to fund a loss-making business. So that negotiation fell through, and we'll look again and see if we can purchase it for a lower price maybe next year. These are the buildings concerned. So in the left-hand picture, number 4 and 6 are the 2 brick buildings in the near foreground, and number 2 is the one on the right-hand picture. This is the scheme overall. If we look at number 2, which is one on the corner, there's potential for some flats in the car park there. There's also potential for access into the back of number 4 and 6, and number 4 would provide some secure parking if necessary, but it's not necessary because we've got planning approval anyway, and we've also got a plan to improve the access at the back of number 6 as well. It involves purchasing some land or getting an agreement with a neighbouring property that hasn't actually reached conclusion yet, but could reach a conclusion this year. So the planning application was submitted in February 24 for the number 4, and approval was received on the 12th of June. That was quite a neat sort of timescale, because we'd pre-agreed with the Historic Buildings Officer and the Planning Department that this was a desirable development of this property, because originally it was a merchant's house, and what we're doing is returning the merchant's house to residential use, but as 5 flats, because nobody wants a house of that size these days, 3,500 square feet. Number 6 is a similar one, 3,000 square feet, so we get 4 flats out of that one, and we got the approval in July 25. There's no plan to put in the planning application on number 2 as yet, until we're sure we can acquire the building. So our investment process is to acquire undervalued assets in growth regions, to apply sustainable design and development principles, to enhance value with energy efficient technologies, and to exit by a sale or lease with strong return profiles. This was another one that we actually sought to do for specialised supported housing. It was an ideal building for it, and it was agreed that it would be suitable for specialised supported housing, but in the end it didn't actually come to fruition. It's a lovely site in Bath with great outlook and a large garden, and you can see there's room there for development in the garden. In the past, planning permission had been granted for approximately 50% size increase in the care home, which was 7,000 square feet, and there was an agreement to a 4,500 square foot extension, but the planners wouldn't agree to building houses or flats in the garden. So this is the building for redevelopment, and it fell through because of the economics. Basically, you can't afford to pay too much for a building that, once it's converted into 10 flats, which is one of the schemes, wouldn't generate the value. 10 flats in that area generously would be 2.7 million, and so you can't pay more than 1.5 million for that building. It's more likely to be 1.2 million. This was one of the options that we prepared. We spent a fair bit of time looking at this. This was for specialised supported housing, and initially the Specialised Supported Housing Commissioners team were keen on it, but then they decided they weren't keen on it, and so we looked at developing commercially, but we couldn't get the value from the end product to justify as high a price as the owner wanted on this one. So how can you work with us if you want to? Are you a property investor? We can introduce you to a number of deals that we've got ongoing at the moment. We've got other specialised supported housing deals in our pipeline. So you can either call me on 07539 141257 or 0333 224 1257, or you can email me at alan@alpusgroup.com, or you can schedule a call with me at calendly.com/alanje. If you want to build your portfolio, then you can talk with our team. Louise Suter, her number is there, or Anna Lipcheva. number is there, 07954 658 547, and that specialises in rentals and high returns. And I've given you my number already, so won't give you that one again. If you want us to help you to build your portfolio, we do a done with you service for property sourcing, and you can buy this service at 1997. So it means you work with us for a period of 2 months, and we basically guarantee to find you a property up to £300,000 value in the area that you want in the UK. And we encourage you to use something called Property Filter, and you'll see the reference, the QR code for Property Filter there as well. So you get a free 28-day period with our sign up link there, and we work with you for a further 28 days after that if you want to achieve a property within this 2-month period. And then, because some people don't have the time, we also do a done for you service, and that is at 4997. So you can use the QR code there, and you can also sign up by speaking to me on 07539 141257 or 0333 224 1257. You can drop me an email at alan@alpusgroup.com, or you can book a call with me at calendly.com/alanje. These are our contact details again. We're on Instagram. We've got 2 YouTube channels for property. One is called Alpus Group, the other one's called Alpus Property Development. And we'd look forward to hearing from you. And if you like our videos, just like and subscribe to the channel. Give us any comments that you want, any feedback. And we look forward to hearing from you. Cheers for now.